Hey everyone, today I'll be going through PDHPE Core 1, Health Priorities in Australia, Identifying Priority Issues. I've made this little mind map here and it just shows you the stuff that we'll most likely be covering in this video topic. The first thing is priority population groups. So what population groups are in priority for receiving additional care or any sort of care in a particular area or issue? Then the next thing is, how much does it cost to the community and the individual? So what costs are involved to the community and individual? The next thing is the social justice principles. We also refer to them as SJP throughout our course. Another thing would be the prevalence of the condition. So how many times or how often is this condition? As well as the potential for early intervention and prevention. So these are all factors, all of these are factors that we'll be looking to in order to identify the priority issues and health priorities in Australia. So we're actually looking to prioritize what we want to fix in Australia in regards to health. This is what this entire topic is about in Core 1. So let's jump onto social justice principles. So these are some definitions that I wrote out and I thought were pretty straight to the point and made sense. First off, equity. Resources must be allocated fairly so that all Australians, key word which is all Australians, have the opportunity to be healthy. So in equity, we want everyone to have the opportunity, not just one Australian, not just the other Australian, not just Australians that live in Sydney City or the major cities. All means everyone. Whatever type of Australian they are, wherever they live, they must have equal access, or at least something which is fairly allocated to everyone. So that is the entire idea of equity. The next concept is diversity. Australia has quite a diverse population and hence requires diverse health needs. So if you think about it, some cultures have some diverse and some really different type of health needs. And because of that, we need to meet up to that since they're Australian, and we need to give everyone, this diverse health needs. We need to actually provide for that. The next thing is supportive environments. So environments can be structured so that they are supportive of this principle. So if you just think about it, we have supportive environments all around us. Just as an example, we have the environment of, suppose, a Medicare center. That's a supportive environment, something that has been built in order to actually help us regain health in whatever way and target whatever priority issue. So these are the social justice principles, which are pretty much just these three things: equity, diversity, and supportive environments. This is shortened down to SJP, so if I do refer to that and if other textbooks refer to it, just remember that it's the social justice principles. I'll move on to a little task. See if you can do this. Pause the video. See if you can match these following words. Match these following words, 1, 2, and 3, with the following table. So see if you can match these, and just pause it and try. If not, I'll just do it now. So let's have a look. Diversity. Diversity, have a look. Providing health services and products at an effective cost. No, it's not this one. Health needs met to all Australians. Nope, it's not this one. Australia's health has a diverse health population with diverse health needs. Health services need to cater for all groups, such as the elderly, those ESL or NESP. Perfect. That's exactly it. So I'm going to connect it with this one. Okay, so that's one. So if you got that right, well, that's good work. The next one is supportive environments. Sorry about that. And let's have a look. If I remember, supportive environments should be the first one. Providing health services and products at an effective cost or no cost, ensuring that health services and products are located in areas and ways that can be accessed from metropolitan, rural, and remote areas. So yes, that's definitely supportive environments. And then you've got equity. Equity being health needs need to be met for all Australians. For example, the helicopter service, which is used in rural areas. So yeah, that would be equity. So that'd be that's 2, and that one is 3. Okay, so perfect. If you got those right, great. So let's have a look at why they're actually important. Mainly, the idea of supportive environments is important because it allows for the decrease in morbidity and mortality through creating stronger and more supportive environment. Perfect. And then the next thing, which is equity, allows for the decrease in morbidity and mortality by reaching out to all groups in Australia via equality. So you can already see a pattern that these three things aim to pretty much decrease mortality and morbidity. And I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say here, because if you're not, then just look through your books and notes, and hopefully you get a better understanding, because this is pretty brief. I'm not going into that much detail. Anyways, I'll move on to the next thing. The next thing I wanted to show you was just this little table. If you can remember in the mind map in the beginning, we said quite a lot of things. Now, I created this table for this video, and I hope that it does help. I'll be talking about the main things that I talked about in my mind map in the beginning. So firstly, the priority population groups, they're defined as groups which need extra help, or groups which don't have the same health standards as other groups, the ones that are lacking in health. So if you think about the common ones, you can think about the Australian and Torres Strait Islander people, which is also also referred to as the HSC people. So if you want to remember, just remember HSC people. And then additionally, there's another group which is called the low SES, and that means low socioeconomic status. So you can also talk about SES groups, so low SES groups. And when you say low SES groups, what it actually means is that people who don't have that much money are referred to as people in the low SES groups, low socioeconomic status. Perfect. So these few things are some of these few groups are some of the ones which are priority population groups and which really need more attention in order to get their health status to equal out with other Australians which already have quite an equal health status. Okay, so you can read through the table, but I'm not going to do that in the video. I'm just going to go through the definitions and call it a day. But the why it's important and examples are shown here. So be sure to read them because they're quite useful and valuable. I'll just be going through the name and define as well as the description. Okay, so the prevalence of the condition. Prevalence is defined as how common something is. So it's just how many times it happens. Like if prevalence could be the amount of times, suppose cancer or CVD or some sort of illness or disease that happened at 1 year. Prevalence is just basically the count of how common that condition is inside whatever community, whatever place, whatever country. Okay, so that's prevalence, pretty much. Next, you have the potential for change and early intervention. So it's just what the name actually says. It's the potential to actually have this identification and use of strategies in order to effectively reduce the prevalence of diseases and conditions which can be due to lifestyle behaviors and changes. So this mainly refers to lifestyle changes, ways to change lifestyle behaviors which are already unhealthy. So changing lifestyle behaviors is what I'd be looking at. So as an example, sorry for that, really bad writing. As an example, what I'd actually say here is that suppose that there is a very bad lifestyle behavior in whatever, and that could lead to potentially CVD or something related to having an obese lifestyle. To change that, there is space for early prevention and there's space for potential to actually change this lifestyle behavior. And that entire idea is that we can prioritize our strategies from this, so we can see that is there a space to potentially change and intervene early so that this doesn't actually happen in the first place. If there is, then that's just another reason why that strategy should be implemented and why it's a priority issue for us. Next, there's a cost to the individuals and community. And once again, this doesn't really need a definition because it just says straight out from the name that it's going to be talking about the cost to individuals and the community. Cost doesn't just have to be money. It can be stuff like, a loss to the community in the sense of just intelligence, or a loss to an individual in the sense of emotional losses and whatnot. But obviously, we're just going to be talking about the actual effect that these diseases and illnesses have on the economic and health conditions of an individual, adding on as well as the economic burden placed on the community. Some examples of cost to individual and community, just so you know, would be financial loss, loss of productivity, emotional stress, and diminished quality of life. That's for the individual, and for the community, you'd have other stuff like, the loss of something like a loss of a productive individual, a loss of intelligent individuals, even stuff like loss of valuable asset in the community, just anything you can think about, anything that you can think about inside the community which is actually a loss for the community. It could even be that the loss of a worker because if a community keeps on losing people because of a disease or whatever it is, the job that worker or that person used to do is obviously now up for grabs, but that means that there might not be enough people to do it. Anyways, that's just a little thought that you can think about yourself. But be sure to read the examples and why it's actually important. But that's pretty much it for this lesson. Thanks.